Another Elden Ring boss list? Well, not exactly. For 4 months, I embarked on a quest to learn the intricacies of Elden Ring by beating the game's remembrance bosses without getting hit. Now that I've done it, I feel empty and devoid of meaning, so I figured why not reflect on my journey and go down memory lane. So here is every remembrance boss ranked, but based on how difficult it was to not get hit. Base game only. If the video does well, I'll do the DLC, so drop a like. Rules are simple. My rankings are based on the amount of time it took to beat each boss, along with the amount of tries it took to successfully clap them cheeks and get their remembrance. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Number 15, and the easiest boss to take down, was Fortissax. I got him the first try, and the fight lasted a grand total of 44 seconds. I don't even have enough stuff to say about this fight because I just stood there and took shots at him from downrange like I was Cyclops, and I just kept firing. Maybe dodged one of his attacks here or there, and then it was just, back to lasering. Every shot was a splash, 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 until he died. So we'll chalk this one up to the Elden Ring RNG gods, but this one was a surprise for sure. No runbacks required, baby.
Yo, first try, no hit, okay? Okay.
Number 14, we have Rudolph. With a total fight time of 3 minutes and 52 seconds, it took me 3 tries to bring him down, and 2 of those tries I was trying to make it look fancy, and 1 hit him. I also didn't know this going into the fight, but lightning actually does more damage when you use it near water, so since he's out here, Michael Phelpsing it, all it took was 3 hits of the Knight's Lightning Spear, and it was over. We're having reindeer meat for the week.
I mean, that did enough damage. Like,
next up on the list is Fire Giant. This fight took me almost 11 minutes, and I tried 5 times. I went into this fight thinking it wouldn't take me that long to beat him, and I was right. Initially, he kept killing me with his range attack, so I couldn't get close. But eventually, once I figured out how to close the distance, one of my viewers suggested I use pest threads on the big boys, and oh my lord, it did not disappoint. I stood right underneath him and just nutted over and over and over until this man drowned, cementing the fire giant in a sticky grave. Funny enough, all the threads seemed to hit his nuts, so in a way, the fire giant died to the nuts hitting him in the nuts. I'm not a rapper.
right in between his nuts.
At number 12, we have the OG hater himself, Morgot. I fought him right after I fought Rudolph, so I was still using the same lightning spell from the previous fight, but I also wanted to get fancy with it, so I threw in the One Punch Fist for good measure. I didn't know this until about the 3rd try, but it turns out he's weak AF to lightning. So the outcome ended up being this fight, where he caught all these hands until he proc bleed, and then with him on his knees, I drank up a potion, and I delivered a lightning shot to his face. Total fight time was 8 minutes and 35 seconds, and it took me a total of 5 tries.
Goodbye. What do you have to say about my ambitions now, huh? Huh?
Moving on to number 11 is the CEO of Feet Picks herself, Rennala. Damn, George R.R. Martin is a freak. I probably could have done this fight quicker, considering now what I know, but hindsight is 20/20. The first phase of the fight was an absolute breeze, just bob and weave the enemy children crawlers and smack the shiny ones here and there until the shield breaks. I haven't seen any videos pointing this out, but why is she using children as shields? Man, what the fuck, George? I must have missed some lore on this, so comment below if you know the answer, but I digress. Once I got to phase 2, I learned that you can fist her properly if you can just strafe her laser off rip. And you can just spam the fist button until she surrenders her Feet Pick Empire. A plus to this strat was that she also couldn't summon anything, so this made it a super easy no-hit run.
Oh, it worked! Oh, goodbye. It actually worked.
Final stats are 30 minutes until I beat her and 11 tries total. Kicking off the number 10 spot, we have the main cuck of the game, Godfrey. We went back to the lightning style jutsus for this one, and we just went for it. Learning his moveset was actually really easy because he just kind of gangster walks at you for the first 10 seconds of the fight, so you can get free lightning throws in, and he just cuts his health in half until he does his main attack, which you can just side roll like this, and then you hit him one more time to get him into the second phase. Now, by the start of the second phase, this man is just begging to be knocked down. So you can just merry-go-round him like you just saw me do here, and down he goes. Then you just walk up slowly and BAM! Hit him with a shot of tetanus. Down he goes to a sliver of health and just boink! There goes the King of Cucks. We out here keeping it simple, guys. Total fight time, 18 minutes and 13 seconds with 14 tries. Over to number 9, we have Godrick. It took me 18 minutes and 13 seconds to learn his moveset, and I no-hit him successfully in 14 tries. This was the first boss I fought in the run, so not having any idea what I was doing 100% slowed me down, and definitely made things harder. For some reason, I really wanted to fist him only, and I'm not sure what that says about me, but this meant that I learned his moveset slowly and painfully. I just played patiently instead of rushing him down in the first phase. I kept getting hit by his wind projectiles, and I couldn't stop not getting hit, so it would ruin the run immediately. I also eventually learned to bait out his longer combo attacks, where he swings his axe violently, like this 4-hit combo. And on the 5th one, you can get in the freest hits, so I just let him do that, roll away, smack the cemetery a bit, swipe the floor, and power kick him in the face. Once he starts yelling, you're good to move to the side and punch him in the back a few more times before Phase 2 starts. Luckily for me, in Phase 2, his Dragon's Breath attack lasts as long as Miyazaki's obsession with poison swaps. So I can just spam my punches till the old bastard dies.
Done. We got him.
At spot number 8, we have the legend who beat the allegations, Mohg. I've seen the other videos, and I didn't want to just Kamehameha him because I already did that in my first playthrough, so I decided to whip out the good old Bloodhound's Fang. I found that the real challenge to no-hit Mohg without range was really racing against his Blood Curse. And despite using Mohg's Shackle, he somehow super armored through the Shackle and still casted his bullshit on me.
What the heck? That didn't work.
I couldn't count the amount of times I just wasn't doing enough damage to him and failed to run because of the auto hit from the attack. Oh wait, yes I can. It took me 17 tries and 34 minutes. My dumbass also didn't realize when he waved his stick to cast a spell, it counts as a hitbox, so that hit me as well and it counted as a few tries. After all those wasted attempts, I realized I should have just been more aggressive from the beginning, which is what I did in my final try. After shackling him to the ground, I immediately just went in and started using Bloodhound Step on him. I got behind him when he started casting so I wouldn't get hit, and I just kept using the same special attack until we finally beat his ass.
I can see it.
Woo!
As clear as day.
Clean. Clean.
Rykard is at number 7, and I can't emphasize how much I hate fighting this stupid snake. I spent so many hours on him when I fought him on the first playthrough, and he still beat my ass in New Game Plus. I wanted to defeat him in under an hour, but I just missed the mark by a minute 31, and it took me 47 painful tries, and I ended up having to kill him with a spear glitch that my viewer showed me. This glitch requires you to power stance 2 Great Spears, the Serpent Hunter and any other Great Spear. So you can attack while still having the properties of the Serpent Hunter Spear while doubling up on damage. I was told to just crouch poke him disrespectfully, and I couldn't get the strategy to work initially because I was too dumb. But once I got enough practice, it was just a matter of time until this happened.
Yeah. Let's go! That was it! Pop in a squat, bro. Just pop a squat and touch him.
At the number 6 spot, we have a failed fight. That's right, I'm throwing in a curveball. I screwed up the no-hit challenge, but kept going anyway, so fucking sue me. I spent 2 hours and 20 minutes with 46 tries trying to no-hit this dragon. And he ruined me within a difference of, I think, like a millisecond. For some reason, too, I was hell-bent on murdering him with the pest threads. So, respectfully, I just kept unloading on him. For his size of a dragon, he's surprisingly fast, and he just teleports all over the goddamn map. So just like in real life, my swimmers kept missing the mark. Look at him, he just keeps teleporting away, and I keep panicking, too afraid to unload onto him. When this last shot missed and didn't kill him, my heart sank. I was ready for defeat. I did not expect to dodge these next couple attacks, and I was just panicking the entire time. I struggle so much with this move, because sometimes I would get hit by it, sometimes I wouldn't. And right here, this is where I see fuck it. I just spam it and see what happens. I was at my limit, and apparently so was he. He struck me with the lightning first, so I think I lost by a difference of like a millisecond. But hey, mama didn't raise no quitter, so I kept going with the run. We're entering the top 5 with Astel, who bullied me from range for an hour and 14 minutes and took 51 tries to finally defeat. This fight totally reminds me of that scene in the Doctor Strange movie where he fights Dormammu. He keeps dying in different ways because after getting shot, eaten, flattened, hit by a meteor, molested by gravity, and Timurasangund, I finally had a run where every one of my swimmers hit him in one shot. The fight was absolute bogus, but it was safe to say that the RNG gods were on my side. I mean, look at this. I hit him for over 9,000 damage. I backed up and I rolled away, and I knew this hit would not finish him off, so I just waited and tried to anticipate what his next move would be. And it turned out to be the asteroid move, which to this day I still have no idea how to dodge, but I just ran around and prayed. That worked out for me. So hey, I said I'll take it, and I charged one up, and he took it to the face.
That was completely random.
At number 4, we have another failed fight. This time against the final boss of the game. I promise this is the last time it happens in the base game. I ended up using the double spike balls against Radahn, which turned me into Muhammad Ali. First phase ended up being so easy that I thought, hey, why not just use the balls in the second phase too? Of course, that didn't end up working because although I was doing lots of damage in the beginning, the Elden Beast always swims off. So I needed a range option to go up against this big ass. I just remembered the mantra of Elden Ring. If they are large, you can charge. You're nuts against them, and that's exactly what I did. One of my viewers also told me that I could bring Torrent in for the second phase of the fight. That's kind of where things got kind of crazy. Because although that made things easier, it also meant that I got a little bit cocky. Having fought this weird-ass goldfish several times, I knew that whenever he flew into the sky like this, I could just jump over his next attack. And I knew after this attack, I could get in free hits, but I unfortunately didn't lock on. And when I finally found the beast, he swung at me, which I luckily dodged. And this is where I thought I could finish him off. But at the very end, he tickled me with a single starlight projectile.
No, I killed him, but it hit me.
Total runtime was 2 hours and 10 minutes with 54 tries.
Fuck.
In third place with 61 tries and 2 hours and 18 minutes, we have Radahn, who once again lit me up from downrange. The man kept sniping me off rip with his arrows and then smacking me when I finally closed the distance. Due to the size, I went with the nut build again, and this time I didn't use horseback nutting. The difficult thing about this fight was that my buffs were wearing off by the time I started hitting him, and maybe looking back, I also didn't understand how to fully buff correctly, so that probably wasted a bit more time. Nevertheless, I stubbornly got good and beat him eventually by sticking to him and being aggressive. I even managed to take him up before he could get off his meteor attack, which saved me a bunch of headache. At second place, we have Malenia. As expected, she took much longer than all the other bosses, and since I wanted to make the fight a little less generic, I did some research and came across a video of someone using the Flame of the Fell God to stagger her. Coupled with another video I watched of a YouTuber using a Frenzy Flame build, I found my gold star combination. I'll spare you guys the 86 tries it took me to beat her, but just know it also took 2.5 hours of my life, which I'll never get back, so please like and share this video for the suffering I endured. The actual run went something like this. Once you've buffed up, send the sun at her and watch her get knocked down. You'll then want to back up again and then send a second sun, showing her what it's like to live on Tatooine. While she's contemplating why she hates the sand, back off and rebuff. You'll also most likely be low on mana at this point, so back off and drink up. Then when you're comfortable, send a third dose of Sunny D towards her. When it hits, make sure you drink up once more and light her up with Unendurable Frenzy. You'll want to use up all your juice, and that should get you to the end of the first phase. At the start of the second phase, you'll want to dodge your Scarlet Aeonia attack, and then rejuice right away, and get in any buffs that you can. Since she's so much more aggroed in the second phase, you can just let her come to you, so get ready to melt her face off again with Unendurable Frenzy. If you're using the Cerulean Hidden Tier like I am, the spell should last a lot longer the second time around. The next part requires very lucky RNG, as she decided to use another Scarlet Aeonia, which gave me time to back off and drink some more Kool-Aid. Recognizing I was in the home stretch now, I gathered myself, and then I fired 2 laser shots. 1, 2, followed up by one last blast of Unendurable Frenzy. Also, make sure to drop stylishly in sync with Malenia.
Is that a no-hit, or what?
The mark of a true lord.
And lastly, the hardest fight I had was Maliketh. What made Maliketh tricky was that he never consistently did the same opening moves in Phase 1. He would sometimes gangster walk towards you, or rush you down, leaving you no time to breathe and killing you almost instantly. You could use the pillars to cut off his line of sight sometimes, but even that, it was incredibly inconsistent. I really wanted to kill him with just the lasers, so I kept at it until this run, which made things look really easy. And that's because the first phase, he just walked at me slowly, so I just fired 3 fully charged shots, and it immediately brought me to the second phase. When phase 2 starts, you can immediately take 2 steps back, and he'll always miss that first hit, allowing you to get off a laser shot. Then you can just cower behind the pillars, dodge the rest of his attacks, and you're home free. Just try to bait out one of his longer attacks, like the one where he sends 2 lethal crescent moon projectiles towards you, and then comes in with one final slash. He's completely vulnerable after that, so you can easily fry his ass.
This is it! We got him. We fucking got him!
This last fight took me 88 tries and almost 3 hours to no-hit him successfully. And so that's my list, and obviously this was just my experience with the bosses. You can let me know if you agree or disagree with my rankings, or if you hate me for failing the run and screwing up 2 of the fights. Either way, I just want to give a huge shout out to the viewers who supported my streams and for also coming up with some of the builds whenever I was stuck. I mean, some of their recommendations literally made all the difference and gave me the extra damage I needed to finish the fight. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and we'll see you all in the next one. Adios.